Hello guys, my name is Bart Jameson. I am the VP of Research and Performance Sciences for FasciaBlaster, and I am also an athletic trainer, certified and licensed. I have a master's in athletic training. I also am a certified strength and conditioning specialist. So I'm just gonna dive right in, and everyone wants to know, why does the FasciaBlaster cause bruises? The short answer is it just stimulates the body's natural inflammation process. So by taking the FasciaBlaster and just going across the body, you're causing blood flow and inflammation, which is good acutely to bring the nutrients required for healing and soft tissue repair. These are the white blood cells, the fibroblasts that build up fascia and collagen. They come to the area that is using the FasciaBlaster and stimulate healing, and along with stretching and proper exercising and activation, become a more efficient tissue. So that's what the FasciaBlaster does, it just stimulates the body's natural healing process. So when we bruise, it usually occurs because that area was really fascial adhesed, or was not getting enough blood flow or nutrients to the area. So taking the FasciaBlaster caused a slight trauma to the area. You're stimulating micro traumas, we'll talk about that in a second, in order for the signal to reach the brain that healing needs to occur. So the look of bruising is the blood flow return and all the other nutrients, kind of cells that come to the area that are in charge of repairing the tissue and stimulating soft tissue regeneration and repair. So that's what the look of bruising does. The next I'm going to talk about the difference between bruising injury and FasciaBlaster bruises. There's two different types of bruising that occurs in the body. We call it macrotraumatic, which is something like an impact from like a punch, some sort of impact against the skin causing a bruise. That is called a macrotraumatic bruise. A microtraumatic bruise is more over time, it's more chronic. Something like a hamstring strain is a microtraumatic injury. Achilles tendonitis is a microtraumatic injury. So what we're doing with the FasciaBlaster is stimulating microtrauma to the area. I know trauma sounds like a really bad word, don't get scared. It's just how the scientific community describes the inflammation process. So it's a scary word, but don't be afraid of it. So you're stimulating microtraumatic processes in the body to where the body thinks that these small microtraumas are needing more nutrients and blood supply so that the tissue can meet the implied demand. So you always want the body to be efficient and strong and working together. So that's why, like when you're lifting weights, you're making small tears in the muscle fiber so the body is knowing to rebuild and add more down. Same thing as applying. You're stimulating the body to be more efficient, to have proper blood flow, have proper neuroactivity. So that's what's happening with the small microtrauma. So don't be afraid of it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is ways to reduce bruising. There's a lot of ways you can do to reduce bruising. You can use the FasciaBlaster cream. I don't want to sound like a promotion, but there's a lot of stuff in here. It has arnica to help with reduce the look of bruising. It has lidocaine to help with the soreness from after blasting. And it smells great and has a lot of other natural organic stuff in it that makes the appearance of bruising and the feeling after blasting feel better. So you can always use the FasciaBlaster cream. Some light flushing of the area 24 to 72 hours after blasting is okay. It just kind of stimulates more blood flow and kind of lymphatic drainage. You can also use cold therapy, ice baths, going from warm to hot. Cold therapy is always allowed after blasting. The body likes the cold. It provides a really good environment for healing. It kind of just lets the body focus on that area, and it just loves it in a nutshell. Those are some good ways to improve the look of bruising. Also, there's some certain vitamins and minerals that are needed in the inflammation and soft tissue repair process in the body. I'll just mention them real quick. So if you're having some issues, maybe adding these to your diet will improve the look of bruises. So I'm just going to mention them real quick. Vitamin K helps with clotting, so that's the inflammation process. Vitamin C helps the collagen formation. Vitamin D helps the absorption and using of calcium in the body, which is used for a lot of different things, from bone growth to transmission of nerve impulses. And then magnesium is good for bone growth and stimulation of the soft tissue repair. So if you have all of these in your diet, it's just going to help the look of bruising. The next thing I'm talking about is why you can't FasciaBlast on blood thinners or blood clots. And the simple answer is you never want to blast with a blood clot or history of blood clots, because if it gets released, it can start to become a pulmonary embolism. It gets stuck somewhere else in the body. It can cause a stroke. So always make sure you consult your doctor. If you've ever had any sort of circulation issue, DVT, embolisms, anything like that, be sure to get it cleared before using the FasciaBlaster. If you're like a daily aspirin user, just make sure you consult your doctor. But we really are talking more about the anticoagulants. And that's just because your blood is way thinner, which means there's not a lot of platelets. So if you do get, say, a cut anywhere in your body's not gonna be able to stop the bleeding as well. So you worry about that, and you worry more about bruising, the body being able to really repair and stop the initial bruising process. It's just impaired inflammation process. So just get everything cleared with your doctor before using the FasciaBlaster. Does the FasciaBlaster cause blood clots, internal bleeding, or damage? No, it is causing micro traumas, like I said, which stimulate the inflammation process. It has to be stimulated by somewhere else in the body, such as the receptors in the muscles and the nerves. They all will stimulate the process. So that's what we want to do with the FasciaBlaster too, so we can heal and repair and be more efficient soft tissue structures. The next one has to do with lingering bruises. So lingering bruises, and guys, is usually because you're going too hard, you're going too often, you're not allowing time for recovery. So I'll just give you a quick synopsis of why recovery is important and why we say to make sure to include plenty of recovery time. The inflammation process is over the course of 3 different phases. It can range a very wide variety of time depending on what is going on in the body. The first phase is the inflammation phase, and that is usually 0 to 72 hours. And that's just where all the blood flow is coming. It's doing the actual cleaning up, it's repairing, and it's just becoming kind of like an elementary school student. It's ready to learn, but it's not ready to be out on its own. So the next phase is called the proliferation phase, and this is where the actual tissue repair is done. This is where the fibroblast becomes stronger. This is why activation is important, because if you activate it, it just stimulates the need for continued repair. So that's why activation is important. And then the next phase is maturation phase, and that's when you're really getting stronger, and that's when you're actually increasing strength and stretching and ability and everything like that. So those phases are occurring over time, and you need to allow those phases to occur. If you're just in the inflammation phase, then the soft tissue phase and the maturation of the tissue will not occur. That's why you need to allow recovery time so the body can catch up and repair, and then you can re-FasciaBlast and just keep the cells always healthy and healing. If you're just stuck in inflammation, you're never going to get anywhere. So recovery is very important. Some people are asking, when you blast a certain area, a bruise will appear in a different area. This is seen in like the lower extremity, like you're blasting your quad, and maybe the outside of the knee or the whole knee will get swollen, and this is due to gravity actually. So we're standing up upright all the time. So if we're blasting an area, the inflammation and the lymphatic drainage isn't as good as if it were in the upper extremity, because the lymph nodes and everything, it can't reach it. So it's good to flush, it's good to have elevation, it's good to be moving, because moving acts like a natural pump, just like a blood pressure pump. If you're moving, it's always just pumping the blood, it's improving circulation. So that's why I say if you're having issues with lingering bruises as well, it's good to move. And I'll just say a little example, if like our knee joint is like a balloon, and when inflammation fills it up, it gets big and expanded. So what we want to do is try to limit that inflammation in that joint, and by moving, it'll help get that out of there. And sometimes that fluid will get like move up, like I've seen in a lot of athletes, their ankles, we put a compression wrap on them, and their swelling will move up their calf, and that's just because we're pushing it up back towards the body. So the bruising and swelling can move in the body, because that's the swelling working its way through the circulation system. So it's actually a good thing. Why do some areas of the body bruise and not others? Another simple answer is the body will put blood flow and inflammation and nutrients where it's needed most. So if I'm blasting my arm right here, which I did, and back here, and I just do a couple swipes and there's bruises here. Well, maybe the body decided that that's where I needed it most, more than on the front. So it's kind of just saying the bruises are kind of showing where the body is doing repair, in a simple answer. And why do some bruises show up a few days later? This is just because, like I said, the inflammation process can be over the course of 0 to 72 hours and sometimes even longer. So any time during that time, a bruise could, or appearance of bruise could appear. So don't be worried or concerned about it, because the inflammation process is not just one day thing. It's not just a couple hours thing. It's over the course of time, through a week almost. So don't get discouraged when you just see a bruise like that. So hope these answers were great for you guys. I hope there was a lot of beneficial information to make you feel better about your bruises and understand why bruising is occurring. The natural healing process is going on. It's a good thing. Just include recovery, include ice or cryotherapy if you need it. Keep moving. It's always bad to be sedentary. So move, activate, keep blasting, and just keep it up, guys.